I don't know if you remember a few months ago, welcome back to the channel by the way, I put in some new Power Queen batteries and I thought I'd do an update on them. That was early February when I put those in, and now it is December the 1st, so I've been running them for a while now, and I wanted to give you an update on how they're performing. So let's have a look at them. Alright, so this is my battery box, and looks a little funky maybe, but a lot of cables going on there. There is 6 300 amp Power Queen 12 volt batteries, 3,800 and something watts per each one of them. So altogether that's actually a 23,000 watt or 23 kilowatt power supply. So I'm running a 12 volt system. I wish I would have made the switch over to 24 volt at some point, but I started out with 12. That's what my equipment was, and I've done a lot of upgrading a piece at a time when I really probably should have just stopped and changed out a lot of stuff at once, but I didn't. So I pull a lot of power through them. So as you can see, I'm running really heavy cables. I'm running 4/0 cables, which is plenty for even some of the steady 200 amp draws that I have when I'm running like a 1800 watt air fryer. That's quite a bit of power. So I live in a little log cabin here, totally off grid, solar power and generators. That's all we have here. So electrical power is not even an option where we live here in Alaska. So I have those batteries. I have a bank of 3 chargers, 2 50 amp chargers and a 40 amp charger. Gives me a total of 140 amps of charging capability, which is about all my 3,000 watt generator will handle. So I have 2 solar chargers, one 80 amp charger and one 100 amp charger. And I run that through a 3,000 watt inverter to a little breaker box right there. And that's how I get all my power. So over the last few years, I've added quite a bit of modern amenities. And I had, before I bought these lithium batteries from Power Queen, I had 6 420 amp 6 volt lead acid batteries, the big tall ones. Remember what they call those now, L16s. So which seemed like a lot of battery. I mean, that's 800 pounds of battery. But basically give me about 540 of usable amp hours is all that really gives you at 12 volt. Currently now I have 1,800 amps of usable power. So that's a lot. I can't even imagine, I can't even describe how nice it's been having that kind of power. And now using lithium batteries, of course I have a deal here that tells me where I'm at right now. Right now I'm down just under 1,300 hours left of my batteries, but so I'll have to run a charger here in a day or two. But some of the modern amenities that I have a Toyo heater, that runs on heating oil, but it has to have electricity to ignite it and stuff like that. My stove, the oven on that thing requires about 500 watts when the oven's going, because that's how the igniter works on it. I have a microwave, air fryer, electric refrigerator, freezer. It's outside. I use a regular electric coffee pot. My stove has blowers on the back of it. I have back here in my shower and laundry room, I have a full-size washer and dryer. Obviously it's a gas dryer, but it still requires quite a bit of electricity. Water heater, it also requires some electricity for that as well. And then of course, when you get outside, I have power connected to my outhouse, and that has a night light that stays on in it all the time. I also have this big Shelter Logic, which is my little ATV workshop. I have that insulated. I have a torpedo heater in there, and I also have electricity in there. So with fluorescent lights in there. So, and then one other little piece of the puzzle I was going to show you too is I have another little guest cabin right out there. You can see a pole on the front of it. Used to have a solar panel on that, and I had a solar setup out there. Well, after getting my battery upgrade, now I just buried a wire out there, eliminated all the solar stuff out of there, and went ahead and moved the panels from there up to here. So I have two sets of panels here, one set for each charge controller. This big one here in the front has 8 250 watt panels on it, and the other one has 3 330 watt panels on them. So that's my power system. But the Power Queen batteries have just been phenomenal. You know, my goal is to have my cabin where I can go off and leave it for days or a week at a time, and I was able to do that this summer. With the solar power I have, I was actually able to go from February, after I installed these, to the end of August before I ever had to start a generator again. So it's been pretty nice. Right now I basically start my generator when I feel like the batteries are down enough that I can recharge them on one tank of fuel. So, you know, if I ran these batteries completely down, it would, with that kind of chargers, it would take about 24 hours to recharge these batteries. So, so I don't feel like gassing up the generator that many times. So basically I just do it, you know, where I can charge them back in, you know, 4 to 5 hours. And that's how I run. But 6 300 amp Power Queen batteries, it's pretty amazing.